dearest father, you have put the wild waters in this roar, Aladdin. The sky is seen to pour down sinking pitch, but that the sea, mounting to the welkin's cheek, dashes the fire out. Oh, I have suffered with those that I saw suffer. A brave vessel who had no doubt some noble creature in her, dashed all to pieces. Oh, the cry did knock against my very heart. Poor souls, they perished. Had I been any god of power, I would have sunk the sea within the earth, or ere it should the good ship so have swallowed, and the frotting souls with her.
Be collected. No more amazement. Tell your piteous heart there is no harm done.
Oh, woe the day!
No harm. I have done nothing but in care of thee, my dear one. Thee, my daughter, who art ignorant of what thou art, not knowing of whence I am, nor that I am more better than Prospero, master of full poor sail, and thou no greater father.
More to know did never meddle with my cause.
'Twas time I shall inform thee, father. Lend thy hand and pluck my magic garment from me. So, lie there, my art, weep thou, wipe thine eyes. I have comfort thee, spectral of which touch the very vital of compass in thee. I have with such provision in my art, so selflessly ordered that there is no self.
You have often begun to tell me what I am, but stopped and left me to a bootless inquisition, concluding, stay, not yet.
The hour now comes. The very minute bids thee up thy ears, obey and attentive. Can't thou remember a time before we came unto this sail? I do not think thou canst, for then thou wast not out 3 years old.
Certainly, sir, I can.
By what? By any other house or person of anything the image tells me that hast kept with thy remembrance.
'Tis far off, and rather like a dream than an assurance that my remembrance so warrants. Had I not 4 or 5 women once that attended me?
Thy hasn't and more, Miranda. But how is it that this life in thy mind, what seest thou else in the dark, backwards, and a sign of time of thy remembrance thou hast and more, Miranda. But how is it that this lies in thy mind, what seest thou else in the dark, backwards, and abysm of time? Of thou rememberest, art thou cometh here, how thou cometh here, thy midst.
But that I do not.
12 years since, Miranda, 12 years since, thy father was the Duke of Milan and a prince of power.
Sir, are you not my father?
Thy mother was a piece of vital, and she said thou was my daughter, and thy father was Duke of Milan, and thy his only heir and princess, no worse issue.
Oh, the heavens! What foul play had we, that we came from there, or blessed what we did?
Both, my girl. By foul play, as thou sayest, were we heaven thence, but blessedly taught.
Oh, my heart bleeds to think of the team that I have turned you into, which is from my remembrance. Please you too, font.
My brother and thy uncle called Antonio, I pray thee mark me, that a brother should be so profoundest. He who next thyself of all the world I loved, and to him put the manage of my state. As at that time thou through all that it was the first, and Prospero, the prime Duke, being a refuge, and for the liberated arts without a parallel, there being all my study, the government, I cast it on my brother, and to my state grow stranger, being transported, and in secret studies, thy false uncle, dost thou attempt me?
Sir, most heedfully.
Being once perfect, how to grant suits, how to deny them, who to advance and who to thrash, for overtopping new created the creature that were mine. I say or change them, or else now formed, have both the key of officer and office. Sit all hearts, I state, to what tune pleased his ear, that now he was the envy which had hid my princely trump and sucked my vitals out on thou attempts not.
Oh, good sir, I do. Your tale would cure deafness.
To have no string between this part he played, and him he played it for. He needs will be absolute Milan. Me, poor man, my library was dukedom, large enough of temporal royalties. He thanks me now incapable confederates. So dry he was forswayed, the king of Naples, to give him annual tribute, do him heritage, subject his coronet to his crown, and then the dukedom yet unbowed. At last, poor Milan, to must ignoble stooping.
Oh, the heavens!
Mark his condition, the event, then tell me of this might be a brother.
I should sin to think but nobly of my grandmother. Good wounds have borne bad sons.
Now the condition, the king of Naples being an enemy to me, inveterably, hearken my brother suits, which was that he in Lyle the promise of heritage, and I know not how much tribute should present me and mine out of the dukedom, and confer fair Milan with all the honor on my brother, whereon a teacher's army.
Alack, for pity! I, not remembering how I cried out then, will cry it o'er again. It is a hint that brings mine eyes to it.
Hear a little farther, and then I'll bring thee to the present business, which now upon us, without the which this story were most imperative.
Wherefore did there not that hour destroy us?
Well demanded, wretch. My tale provokes that question, dear. My dost not so dear the love my people for me, nor set a mark so bloody upon the business, but with coloration fair printed their foul end, in few, they hurried up aboard a brig, bore us some leagues so to see where they prepared a rotten carcass of a boat, not rigged nor tackle, sail nor missed. The very rats instinctively had quitted. There they host us to cry to the sea that roared to us, the sign to the wind, whole pity, sigh back again, did us but loving wrong.
Alack, what trouble was I then to you?
Oh, Caliban, thou wast that did preserve me. Thou didst smile, infused with a fortitude from heaven. When I have decked the sea with drops, full salt, under my throne, which rise in me, an undergoing stomach, to bear up again what should assure.
came we ashore?
By providence divine, some food we had, and some fresh water that a noble Neapolitan Gonzalo, out of charity being then appointed master of the design, did give us which rich garments, lines, stuff, and necessities, knowing I love my books, he forged me from my own library with volumes that I prized above my dukedom.
Would I might but ever see that man.
Now I arise. Sit still and hear the last of our sea swallows. Here in this island we arrive, and here I have thy schoolmaster made thee more prophet than other princesses can that have more time for finer hours, and tutors not so careful.
Heavens thank you for it, and now I pray you, for still 'tis beating in my mind, your reason for raising this sea storm.
Know thy far forth, by accident most strange, bountiful fortune, now my dear lady, hunts my enemy, brought to this shore, by my prescience. I found my thus far, by accident most strange, bountiful fortune, now my dear lady hunts my enemy, brought to this shore, by my prescience. I found my zenith doeth depend upon my auspicious star, whose influence of now I count not, but omit my fortunes. Thou art inclined to sleep, what's a good diligence, and give it way, I know thou canst not choose.
Come away, servant, come. I am ready now. Approach my Ariel. Come.